Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Dana.
Hello.
Tonight we're going to be watching season 4, episode 5, In a Family Way, I believe it's called. You would think Gail would recognize the symptoms. She's been pregnant before.
Well, only once and like 15 years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like the stress again, stress does a lot of things. And like if you're not paying attention to your body like at all, I could see how easily, you can miss it, stuff like that. And also, women, we just power through. We don't even stop. Just keep going. Ba, ba, ba.
My grandmother didn't know she was pregnant until she was 5 months pregnant.
Right. There's tons of stories of women who are pregnant and don't know they're pregnant, and who are literally having babies and don't understand why they're having babies
The
because
way
they
she
didn't know
tells it,
they're pregnant.
she just woke up one morning and she was showing, and she was like,
My belly's really firm, and I've been pooping a lot. And like, you know.
It's pink.
All right. First thing we do is we get you to a doctor ASAP to confirm the results and make sure everything's okay.
Oh,
Where
are
you
we
going?
gonna have a temper tantrum?
I'm late. It's my first day painting Mr. Brooks's house.
Oh, aren't you going to say anything first?
Congratulations.
Oh my god.
Boo-hoo, I'm no longer the only child.
Oh, no! I can't share my mommy and daddy.
Nobody's going to pay attention to me anymore.
Oh my god!
Are we having a fight?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Feels like one of those times when you say that you're kidding around, but really we're having a fight piece.
I assure you, everything is perfectly all right.
How did I get myself into this? I was a mediocre soccer player back.
Why would they be fighting about that? Why would she think that they're having a fight?
Well, I don't know. I guess because the power dynamic shift, like he is taking it back. I guess because I'm assuming he's right. Like they're
Uh-huh.
getting really hot and heavy, and then she goes, "We have to stop." And
Right.
then, they just go watch TV or whatever, and he's probably feeling very frustrated, and then doesn't
Right.
want to get to the point of full frustration where he's ready to trying to have sex really at that point, and have
Well,
to pull back.
he probably doesn't want to pressure her. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
he, like he said, he's preemptively stopping it from getting
Yeah,
to the
before he
point
gets to
where
yeah.
he basically has a hard on, I guess.
Yeah, obviously. Well, that's what I mean, so as being a woman, I don't know what it's like to have your arousal be portrayed on the outside of your body. But I do understand that in certain I don't know if it's been a lie just to pressure me into having sex to feel bad, but there's a physical hurt in a certain way when it's too much to bear. It gets too intense.
Right.
From what I know of. So this is what I'm assuming he's trying to not get to. Is
Right.
that I'm really just gonna I won't be able to control myself kind of thing, which is upsetting to hear because it's everyone should be able to control themselves in that way, right?
Right.
But he's a teen too, so
Yes, there are
they be raging.
extra hormones flowing.
Yeah,
Do you think the actor really hurt his arm in real life?
maybe.
And because I feel like
They didn't have to do the sling a second time around, but
yeah, especially since didn't he just dislocate his shoulder? Shouldn't it be
that's
better?
what I thought because he said the sound it made when it got popped back in. That's what I'm assuming. But
Right.
that's the thing. I don't know if they're trying to tell us that not that much time has gone by.
Mm-hmm.
Because between each episode, who knows how much time has gone by? Unless it's a direct next scene, a
Right.
continuation, that time Pacey kissed Joey that one time. But so I'm assuming this is maybe a couple days or a week. If he's gonna be in a sling for at least a couple weeks.
Right. All right. If he has it on in the next episode, then it's definitely an actor thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
Pedestrian. Wholly uninteresting. Amateurish and terrible composition, too. You didn't take this on purpose.
People are always telling Dawson how bad he is at the things he likes to do.
You know what? Now I don't feel bad because of how immaturely he reacts to everything. It's kind of like, of course they're going to give him crap because he always acts like a butt about like everything. Like, everything that happens. His parents are having another kid. He stomps away. Oh, I got stuff to do. Congratulations. Oh, Joey, you're mine. You're not allowed to in love with anybody else.
Truth is, I don't think that anybody ever really knows if they're ready. But you do know if you're prepared. And you're not.
You're right.
It's a responsible sexual gratification.
Sounds like, let's go get you some condoms, maybe some
Yeah.
pills.
Oh, gosh. I missed the early 2000s.
Womanhood.
What?
Missed the early 2000s.
I also like
Regular
when we try to portray, in New York, we're so edgy. We go to the free clinic.
Wow. I mean, like, it wasn't a real thing for me, but like, yeah, but understanding like to get condoms or get on birth control or see your gynecologist, like get your first pap smear, all that stuff. Like sometimes, yeah.
There's an episode of 90210 in the early seasons where there's a new girl in town, and they find out she has a gynecologist appointment, and that automatically all the girls are like, what a slut.
Wow. Vagina health apparently is slutty. Nice. Like, vagina uterus health is apparently slutty. Good to know. That's how you know people are really stupid. You know what I mean? Like, oh wow.
And there's a line with Shannon Doherty's character Brenda, where because she thinks that she has the hots for her boyfriend because they went out once, but they're broken up at the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, have fun at the gynecologist. Like, she says it in the most bitchy way ever. Like, I'm just like, aren't you embarrassed?
Yeah, right. I mean, like, also at the same time, it's like, I'm not gonna, because it never is. It's not a fun conversation to have, and it's not a fun experience. So,
yeah.
You obviously don't know what you're talking about.
But you're pregnant now. That's the reality.
They're not that old. They could do it.
They could, but I get why she's scared, and this is literally speaks to so much reality of the situation as to why like women may choose, to not go along with the pregnancy. Most of the time they're already moms with other situations going on.
Right.
And like that is it. While she was talking about it, I'm like, this rings so incredibly true. Like this is a reality a lot of people live with, and she's being very practical about the situation. And also, like, you just finished.
Right.
Kid is going to college. Like, you know what I mean? You could see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel from that. Like, you're no longer legally after 18. It's not on you, brother, anymore. That's it.
Well, she is right with the whole expense part, saying, we're in debt already. Like, because now you're going to be paying for your oldest to go to college, dealing with that, and you're going to be dealing with the expenses of a newborn.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Right. And they're just opened a restaurant, and that's not something that's it. She's making a lot of practical sense, and Mitch is like obviously just in love.
Right.
And
I wonder if the conflict for this episode is her being like contemplating maybe not having it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, you can't abort my baby.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think there's so much of a choice in this situation. Like, if she wants to destroy because that will destroy their relationship, I would imagine.
Right.
I gotta be over it.
On a lighter note, it would really blow Dawson's mind if she was having twins.
Yeah. Or could you imagine him understanding her having an abortion?
No.
Like he would be both. His reaction, you wouldn't know which way he was going to go with it, because either he could be indignant about the fact that she's having an abortion, or he could be like, upset or happy about the fact that, like, he's
Hey, I'm the only child again.
kids off forever again.
The look on his face, he's already devastated.
She doesn't want she I knew the minute she found out that, like, her face was saying, "I, don't want to be pregnant.
Right.
I can't be pregnant. This is not okay."
I'm Caroline, by the way. Caroline Say, Molly's older sister. Mom had me when she was 21, Molly when she was 40. That would make me 28, in case you were wondering.
Girl, you barked up the wrong
And he
tree.
is a teenager. Like,
Oh, again, what is the women of Cape Side? Are they predators?
right?
They're predator
They're
women.
desperate housewives.
Oh, my God.
What would that make you?
I'm 18.
Wow. Beautiful.
He's legal.
Sister.
Still, like, girl,
What about you?
Cool.
the radar is off, queen.
Coach Jack, am I making you uncomfortable?
No. Why would you say that?
Okay, but also, like, it was, like, televised that he's gay. Like,
Yeah,
he was a gay football player. Like,
right. On the news.
right? Like,
Where have you been? Ma'am. First off, ew, predator. Second off, wrong genitalia, queen.
right.
You gotta go.
When I found out, I was upset.
Really? Why?
Oh, they're in their 40s, they're about to send a kid to college. They have barely any money in the bank. Their relationship, the past couple of years, hasn't exactly been rock solid. Everything's so unstable. It just seems completely irresponsible.
It is.
Yeah, but I can't feel that way. I mean, I don't want to feel that.
They're good. They made up. They got remarried. They put up the
Again,
whole
it's none of his business either. Like, like that's the thing. He has this sense of ownership over so many people, and it's just really irritating.
He just thinks like his opinion is right when it comes to everybody.
Well, it's like the way he's talking about it. It's like he's the parent, and these are his kids, and
Mhm.
it's that sense of like because you're of my DNA, that means you are like in fact me. That I own, like own you like I would own anything else. Same way is about Joey. It's really frustrating because it's kind of like they're adults that
Uh-huh.
lived a life beyond you before you existed,
Right.
before they even thought about you. So like it's not your business. It's none of
Right.
your business.
All she did was basically tell him that it's not his problem. It's hers.
That and to be like, look at it from the woman's side of all this.
Mhm.
Stop thinking about yourself.
And then he's like, "Oh, you have a point there. Really?"
When you literally have nothing, that's the thing. It's like sometimes it's just the entitlement is really hard to like swallow watching a
Uh-huh.
lot of the time because like it's the same deal. It's like all these expectations that he had for the way that these people are behaving, and then they don't do that, and he's like super shocked.
Right.
And it's like you don't control them or own them and how they feel about things, Dawson. I hate to break it to you, but I know it's called Dawson's Creek, but the world does not revolve around you and your feelings. We don't care. Mhm.
I was really shocked. And maybe a little bit disappointed, but I've been thinking, and I've realized that this is amazing. I mean, I'm gonna have a little brother or sister. I mean, how cool is that?
Dawson, we're not gonna have the baby.
What?
Cue meltdown.
Well, she could be going through if she's old enough, she could be going through menopause. Maybe it's like a false positive that happens sometimes.
Oh wait. Okay. Let's see.
I know. Believe me, this isn't exactly the way that we wanted to tell you.
Wait, wait a just
Here we go.
like that. You make a decision like this in a day.
Well, no, actually, Dawson, it wasn't just like that. I had suspected that I was pregnant for some time. I just didn't want to deal with it because I knew what my decision would be if I was.
Oh, wait, maybe never mind.
I can't believe this.
You made a decision without consulting with me?
Oh, you cannot talk to me about your body. This is my brother or
Did you
sister.
even think about how this would affect me?
Like, the way Gail came in and he's, like, wanted to talk, you could feel, like, the exacerbation, like, of her whole body. She just kinda went, "Another man talking about my body, like, I don't need it.
Right.
Like, I don't. Like, it's not your decision, and this is what is the right thing to do." But
I do think Mitch and Dawson have a right to have a reaction, but
yeah,
they don't have a right to force their opinion on her decision.
right. Like, there believe me, if
He could be
anybody
shocked, he could not agree with it, but it's not his choice, but
right,
he
yeah. Like, I
like, him
mean
being shocked right now, fine,
yeah,
great, but don't argue with her about
right.
it.
Well, there's no judgment.
Right,
Like, it's more like if anybody out of anybody, like, anybody else in the room besides Gail, Mitch is allowed to be the one to have any type of, like, reaction that he wants, but it's like like, you just have to accept that this is the out it's like when something happens to you,
mhm.
like, you can be upset about it, feel traumatized by it, all that stuff, but it still happened, you know? Like, that's
How do
the
you
same thing.
how do you feel about the argument? Because it's usually
Mhm,
comes up or it's on TV when they try to tackle this.
mhm.
When the woman decides that she's gonna have the abortion before she even tells the father that she's pregnant, how do you feel about that? Like, the father has a right to know?
No, I don't agree that the father doesn't have any I don't know, like, something about, like, it's I don't wanna say he doesn't have any rights, but in the sense, it's like when it depends on the situation of the context of the relationship. Like, if
Right,
it's like a one night stand, for example, no,
right.
none whatsoever. Girl, do whatever you gotta do. Like, you know what I mean? Um, when it's like a long-term relationship and maybe it could be an oopsie daisy,
An oopsie daisy.
which happens because, like, no birth control is 100% except for abstinence.
Uh-huh.
That is a little bit more gray because, like, especially if, like, in context of your relationship, you've talked about having kids and them expressing saying they do want kids, like, I feel like you should at least give them an understanding of, like, what's happening, so and
Right.
then you get to decide what happens to your body
Yeah,
because, like, I think they have a right to know, not necessarily a right to decide, ever, in
yeah.
any context. They have a
I
right
think
to know if they've been together for a while.
I feel like the way they portray it on TV is like, you're not gonna tell the father, he has a right to know.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think
why? 'Cause so he could sway your decision because
right,
he doesn't want you to have it, like, not have it?
right. Well, like, to me, that's where it gets a little murky, where context of your relationship is really important because, like, if you were planning on having kids together
Mhm,
and this person was very, very adamant about having children, right?
mhm.
Like, then I would say it would be triple times more hurtful for them to find out that you had an abortion
Right.
without them knowing,
And then
because
then some shows the woman will have it, and then the man is, like, devastated and pissed off that she didn't even, like, tell him before she did it.
and
And
most
it's
of the time in those scenarios, they don't even ask nor care or, like, you only found out by, like, some crazy circumstance, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like, they barely paid attention to her enough to know where's her comings and goings to be able to have an abortion, right?
right. It's almost it's icky because it's almost like
Eh.
how it affected the guy, meanwhile, it's the woman that went through it.
Right. I think it's always about respecting your partner
Mhm,
or like, and meeting them where they are. Because, like,
mhm,
if you're talking about having a family and, like, you're trying or, like, you're not necessarily trying, but you're not necessarily not preventing it either kind of situation,
mhm.
like, I think it would be kind of fucked up if you didn't. Because then it's like you knew this person really wanted to have kids,
Right.
right? And
Mhm.
if you're not ready, then that's a conversation you need to have with them, you know? So
Right.
it's like that that situation, the way it turned out, ended up just forcing you to have that conversation with them that you should have been having before you were having unprotected sex. That's the thing. It's like it shouldn't. You should know what your partner wants, unless again there's like one night stand situations where none of that comes up, you know,
Yeah. I
and then
just realized
that's the gamble,
the
you know.
title of the episode, "In a Family Way," is a a version of saying that a woman's pregnant. She's in the family way.
Yeah, oh gosh. Well, it's like you can tell Gail made the decision probably the minute she missed her period,
Yeah. And
like
then
as soon
started
as
getting the sickness, the morning
yeah,
sickness.
yeah, so she was playing it off because she probably could, because nobody again, a a lot of the times, I hate to say it, but they like, in family dynamics, the mom doesn't really get paid attention to other than, like, when she's not cleaning or something or taking care of the family in some way. So, like,
Right.
when it comes to health, a lot of the times it's like it goes unnoticed. So you try to ride that wave,
Right.
figure it out. I bet you if she could get away with doing it without everybody knowing, she probably would've. But everybody was too busy noticing she was still ill, from
Right.
before.
Right.
So, like, and then again, I would still be like, yeah, it's Gail's right to do whatever she wanted because like you're right. The whole dynamic of their relationship is that Mitch and her just got back together. They're in a lot of debt. She's
Mhm.
just sending off her oldest, like her only child now off to college to finally be like a person without, you know, a
Yeah.
child with her. Like for the first time, you shouldn't want to give that, you shouldn't have to give that up.
Right.
But it was irresponsible of them to be having unprotected sex if they were not ready to have a kid, right?
Right, but like you said, no birth control is ever 100%. Who's to say they weren't using protection?
They could have been,
But
but
also, I don't know. I don't know how old they're supposed to be. Given
right.
the age, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm too old to get pregnant," so then they just don't use protection.
Well, miracles happen a lot. I mean, like, it's not crazy that, like, out of the world or realm of possibility that she could have a baby successfully and be perfectly fine,
Right.
but the risks are incredibly high.
I know, I
And
think anything over the age of 34, 35
yeah,
is a
yeah.
geriatric
Geriatric pregnancy, and not only that, like, the amount of eggs that you're carrying around is, like, infinitely less than when
Mhm.
you were and, like, you
Yep.
know so, that's why I was thinking, like, "Oh, maybe it was a false positive and she's actually going through, like, early menopause or something like that."
Right.
That's what I was expecting them to maybe come back with, so they didn't have to do this abortion storyline, but they definitely are going there, which I'm grateful for because it's also sad to think, like, this was not too long ago and we're still going through this whole thing, even regressing, so it's kinda just makes
When
you go, "Oh."
24 years ago?
Yep, literally.
Wow.
Like, and she had the opportunity to make that choice, you know, and go along with it, and it was the right thing for her family and between her and her doctor, right?
Mhm.
Maybe well, I think Boston, Massachusetts is still okay so far, but
Yep. Right. Is it bad that when he was like, "I'm so grateful to have you," I was like, "Are you?"
are you though? I mean, like, that's the thing that I don't think, like, men really appreciate or other people really in general, like, who have never giving birth is incredibly dangerous,
Mhm.
regardless of the current time and hospitals and medical advancements stuff. It's still incredibly dangerous to be pregnant and to have a baby.
Mhm.
Point blank, period. Like, he doesn't know that obviously because he's an idiot and dumb and stupid and doesn't, he's just immature and, like, just like any teenager would. Why would he know anything about birth or what it's like to be pregnant? He wouldn't.
Mhm.
So for him, it's kind of like, obviously, no, why would you do that? When
Right.
you, why wouldn't you just sacrifice your entire body for fucking 9 months where you literally grow a human where, like, you can't pee and then you pee too much and then, like, you get hormonal and you cry all the time and then, like, then a human comes out. Like, there's just all the gross things that happen with that, and then the complications that could arise because of that. It's not just like, "Oh, oh, there's a baby, we're good."
Yep.
Like, it doesn't
Yep.
I just can't stand how ignorant he is, and the audacity.
I'm not talking to her because I'm upset that she won't have the
But
baby.
she won't sacrifice her entire body for 9 months to have this baby that I finally accepted only a few minutes ago. You know?
And didn't really. He was just pretending.
Yeah. Who he would really not actually want to have because he wants to be the only child because he's a spoiled ass little brat. Like that's what this feels like. It's just so oh God. How did this show survive? It's like sometimes I wonder, like the titular character is awful. It's like,
Unfortunately, I just think that was just, like, the mindset maybe of, like,
oh,
society, so, like, we
yeah.
didn't see it as much as we see it now.
Is it my 2024 mind coming for me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to an empty room.
Find the condom.
Of course, she's gonna find the condom. So, there's a trope in TV when it comes to this storyline, abortion, that drives me absolutely crazy.
Mm,
It's we're gonna pretend like we're going there, and we're gonna talk about both sides, and, it's her choice, and then in the end, she ends up not having it
yeah.
because we're not really gonna go there, we're just gonna pretend to go there.
Yeah.
Same with this, I think you went through what my mom is going through.
Mhm.
She didn't. She had a miscarriage. Well, and essentially, with a miscarriage, you have a DNC, and technically that's an
Yeah.
abortion. But she didn't. She made the decision, but she didn't actually go in for the procedure.
Right.
It happened to her.
Yeah.
So it drives me absolutely insane because I feel like you're just lying. You're not actually going there. You're not
Yeah.
showing that more women actually have abortions for medical reasons and other reasons than people even know about or talk about.
Yeah.
That's my little rant.
No, I hear you. Like it's like if we're gonna talk about it, like let the character actually have
Right.
the procedure, like deal with the consequences of it
Right.
after the fact and go from there. I think the fact that Dawson felt safe enough to ask her about her situation in general, which is again none of her business, and like she doesn't owe him anything to like help him there's nothing to get through. Like that would have been my like response to him, be like, I don't know why you're over here asking me this because I don't know why
Literally,
my experience would help you get through. What are you getting through? If nothing's happening to you.
right. Literally, the first thought I had in my head was like, "Yes, let's reopen her trauma to make you feel better."
Right, yeah, like, seriously, and you're just sitting there, you're like, "Dude, not necessary."
Like, I
Like
get that he wants to understand, I get it, but, like, you shouldn't be struggling this much because it's not happening to you.
right, it's a first off, just how about she's a human being? She's
Yeah,
a human person who has rights over her own body. That's it. That's it, that's all you have to understand, that you don't have to understand anything else.
yep.
Like, you don't have to. Like, to go beyond to ask any of this stuff, you just don't. And that's the huge that's the huge thing that just right over people's heads. It's like, "But I need to I like, I" no, you don't because it's not your body, therefore not your choice.
Also, off topic,
Mhm.
can we talk about the fact that he was like, "Thank you for meeting me for obvious reasons," because she lives with Pacey? Like, he apologized. Can we start to mend that relationship?
Again, he's just so incredibly immature. Like, the whole thing is just super immature. Like, he doesn't seem to for being, like, basically going to college, you would have thought that he, like, would have gotten somewhere emotionally, but
No.
no. He still holds Pacey to, like, some insane standard that he doesn't even hold Joey to. Because, again, like, Joey is his object of ownership, so he's willing to take it in, like, Pacey he saw as, like, a true equal, I guess, and he can't have that anymore because he dared touch, like, his things.
I wanted to say something about how I feel about your situation.
Why?
Mom, you said
Okay, I'm like, I was hearing the bugs outside, and I was like, "Is that here or is that on the show?"
No, it's on the show, I think, and I'm also like, "Why are you going to Mr. Brooks's at night?" That's really kind of creepy, but
Yeah,
okay.
he's painting the house. Why would you go at night to paint the house?
And again, what the fuck do we give a shit about whether what he feels about this? It's not his business.
Like, okay, Dawson approves. I'll have the baby then.
You know what? You said I'm the best mom ever. It's fine. I'll just potentially put my
Everything I said about finances and my age, I'll just
okay. Your love was gonna pay for their diapers. Thanks, babe. No, God. Again, like that whole speech is so tone deaf to like literally what she would have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's great, babe. Thank you so much for being really, 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 really sweet and saying those really wonderful things. But that does not help
Still
me.
not having it.
Oh, here we go.
You know, I think we should probably slow this down a notch.
Okay.
What?
Now that I think about it, was Pacey in this episode? I feel like he was in the
Barely.
beginning, and now this is only his second scene.
Barely, barely. He is literally an idea, and he's here for Joey's pleasure and Joey's pleasure alone. That's it. That's it. He's basically a human-sized vibrator for her right now.
He wasn't trying to manipulate you.
Well, I mean, like, she just laid out this, like, pretty elaborate ruse in a certain way, like, that, like, her trying to switch the power dynamic of the whole thing, like, is supposed to make her paranoid and then make her go to the free clinic and da, da, da. And then but he didn't really confirm that's what he was trying to do. He
He
said he
just
wanted to jumpstart the conversation. He didn't think she was gonna go to the free clinic and get condoms and stuff.
yeah,
He
but
can't even say condoms.
her, like, saying that this was, like, reverse psychology feels like that's your own insecurities talking, like, I don't think
Yeah,
he's thinking that deep about
right.
it.
And I do think he wasn't trying to get her to do all those things. He was just trying to get her to, like, talk to him about, like, how she was feeling.
Yeah,
'Cause
it sounds like you're an overthinker and you spiraled.
yes. Yep. Are they doing the thing you said that they're gonna do?
I don't know, was that confirmation that they were
I don't know. Well, it's like when she starts reminiscing,
Right.
like, sometimes that's a sign that, like, she's changing her mind.
Oh, yeah, that was a night. That was fun, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, Dawson in the bathtub. He was so cute. Remember, babies are so cute, blah, blah, blah. You know?
Yep.
That's okay. That's okay. That's the whole point is that it's her choice to do.
Yeah, but it was sweet.
Yeah. Of course it was. Like, that whole emotional plea was just it was manipulative. Like, all of it was manipulative. Again, framing her experience of what she's going through around him and what he thinks about it and her and their relationship. You know? It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with how she feels or what she wants or anything that she's decided upon for herself.
And poor Jack, he just could never, like, have a smooth sailing moment.
They can't give him, like, any sense of happiness. Like, he can't it seems like they won't let him be happy at all, and I don't like that because, again, it sets, like, a wrong tone that, like, because 'cause you're gay, then you'll never be happy.
Yeah.
Like,
You will
like, you won't
suffer
do anything good. Yeah.
forever.
Forever because you're gay. And yeah, and that's kind of the problem about this storyline or Jack's storyline so far, is that they haven't given him one successful moment
No,
beyond him getting on the football team.
even his first gay
Yeah,
relationship, when he kissed him, found out he had another boyfriend.
correct. Yep, literally.
Ugh. Which
So
I don't know what they were trying to say there, that we're all whores, like, I don't know.
I think it's more like I think it's just again, it's like it's torturing the character to kind of like subliminally message that like nothing will ever be good about it. You know, we're referencing it because we acknowledge that there are people who are gay, but we won't let that character be happy,
Right,
have a healthy relationship,
right,
or like be able to do anything like coach a soccer team of kids. You know, even though he's incredibly good at it,
right.
like and
It's
then
almost
ugh,
it's almost like I was saying before, it's like going there but not going there.
exactly,
Like,
it's
you're just showing one side, you're not showing a well-rounded side of
yeah.
the character.
Yeah, showing all of the bad that comes with it and none of the good.
Right,
Like, he gets no good whatsoever.
right,
He has all the trauma with his dad. He has all the BS with a first time love. He has all the BS with, like, society as a whole. This is, like, the second time, third
can't
time
go to
actually they're going
prom.
around with it. Yeah, like, it was first it was, like, the football team, then it was prom, and now him coaching a kid's soccer team. It's kind of ridiculous, and I hate it
Yeah.
for him because he seems like such a sweet like character all the way around. And again, I hate watching Andy try to explain to him things that aren't necessarily true. Like, wouldn't know. She doesn't know what it's like to be persecuted by anyone,
Right.
let alone, have people think that you're a pervert working with kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's dangerous shit.
But
People
also, like, you're in broad daylight and there's parents there watching their kids. Like, he's
right,
not doing anything. He's coaching.
right. But people
Whatever.
are fucking stupid. Well, so at first, my first thought was that Gretchen left college because she got an alcohol problem. Because, like, alcoholism or addiction in general can run deep in certain families. So, like, I thought maybe that was it. But then when the whole thing was happening with Gail, I was like, oh, she left because she had a pregnancy, a schmishmorphin. Yeah.
I've never, not even this time, thought about why she left. I was just like, they'll tell me. I just didn't
Yeah,
care to think about
they
it.
kept making a point of talking about it, so that meant like it was gonna be a part of the plot.
Yeah,
And
usually when it's on the previously end, you know that it's coming up in the
yeah,
episode. Like,
yeah. Like, so when they brought it up, I was like, "Ooh, maybe we're gonna finally figure out why she's left." But then, so I
no.
was like, "Oh, somebody had a schmishmorphin,"
Yeah.
and then that was, that was it. And like, and then when they said again, like the whole like miscarriage thing, it was like foreshadowing now, like what potentially Gail could be like redeciding, changing her mind to do. Um, it's just like
Season 3 wasn't this heavy.
no, it wasn't. And also, like, the whole episode was again like it was all centered around sex, right?
Mhm.
And they were able to say sex and they said intercourse, but they couldn't say condom. They kept saying birth control, but they couldn't talk about like they did talk about the pill, but like it was just they couldn't actually say anything like worth a damn around it other than like you should go to the free clinic, get birth control of some sort, and then like, make
They didn't
sure
like condoms?
they didn't. I don't remember them saying the word condom. She just kept
Oh,
saying like different types of birth control. And
okay.
then like and then Bessie said like that she had a male birth control factory. Didn't say, like, a condom factory, you know what I mean? So
Huh.
like I'm wondering why they like like, derailed, like walked away. Maybe that word like with the FCC was, or it was just a little too spicy.
Maybe, but they actually showed, like, a brand of
I
condoms
know.
in the
That's what I
show.
don't
That
get.
was product placement.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what it was. They're like, "Oh, we can get Durex
Yeah.
to sponsor it." Poor Trojan. But, like, same thing, like, they couldn't say oral sex or anal sex or, obviously can't use the euphemisms, but maybe more the clinical terms for things. Like, they couldn't
Right.
say any of that stuff. So it's kinda like it's the like you said, walking up to the line, but not actually crossing it or, like, even, like, saying exactly what it is, and that's the issue that most people run into. So, like, all parents are too afraid to talk to their kids about sex, like, even earlier than that, when by the time they get to them, they're obviously, like, already having sex or have seen porn at least, and
I also think it has to do with the time that it aired. From what I remember, the show came on at 8 o'clock. If it was on at 9, they probably would've
a
gotten
little
away
bit
with a
more
few
away
more
with stuff.
words.
Yeah,
'Cause I used to watch a show called Revenge, and it would flip-flop from 9 to 10, and I remember them even, like, admitting it in the promos, like, when
yeah.
we move back to 10, they're like, "We're about to get spicier."
Right. Well, also at this time, there was, like, this show on MTV, like, really late, and I can't remember what it was, but it was
Undressed.
yes, Undressed. It was specifically about sex, like, and they got into it, like, the
Right,
details, like, they said the words, like, condoms and blowjobs and hand
right.
and all that stuff, like, and they talked about it all,
Yeah.
and that was, like,
That
again
came on at, like, 11:30
yeah,
at
that
night.
was, like, late it was, like, the late night, and you would feel embarrassed if anybody would call you
Yeah.
up kinda show, but you would watch it because you wanted to know what was going on, right?
Right.
Like, so, like, this is kind of like a very PG version of that maybe in some way,
Maybe.
but it's just kinda like I felt the realest part of the episode was Gail like, in the clinic saying, like, "Listen, our lives are not for this. And I was like, this is what happens. Like, statistically speaking, like, this is the type of person that would be in the clinic. It's not some young
Yeah.
thing using it as regular birth control, you
Right.
know? It's
Right.
this right here. And also women who have planned pregnancies, who go through horrific situations or something happens to the baby and they need care. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like, it's rough.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us for a very heavy,
Yes,
heavy, heavy, heavy episode of Dawson's Creek.
yes.
Join us next week for another watch party, so to speak.
Woo.
And as always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until then, have a great night. Bye.